Okay, in today's assignment we continue to solve equations for x by adding or subtracting. Okay, so again you're going to make in your notebook, you're going to make 8 boxes because we can fit more on the we don't have to waste as much paper. Solve the equation for x. Okay, our first problem, we have x plus 5 equals -9. So that means what number on the number line would I start at and go forward 5 and end up at -9? Well, here's the equals, and you're right there. Okay, you just have a plus, so you circle x. To go from positive back to 0, you subtract 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Then I go to the other side of the wall and subtract 5. So I line up the equals and I have x. -9 minus 5. I'm at -9 on the number line. I go backwards 5. So it'd be like -10, -11, -12, -13, -14. Okay. So -14 is the answer. Okay, next problem. We have -3 plus x equals 17. So I'm solving for x. So x is on this side. I have a plus operation with the x, no subtraction, but now I have to go from -3 to 0. To go from a negative to 0, you move forward, which means you add 3. And that will take you to 0. Now I go add 3 to the 17. And I have x, 17 plus 3 is 20. Okay. Next problem, 14 plus x equals -21. So here's the equals, x is over here with its plus sign. Okay, so I circle the x. Now 14, if it doesn't have a sign in front of it, it's a positive. So we're going from positive 14 to 0. Going from a positive to 0, I'm going backwards. So that means -14. But I have to go to the other side of the wall now, the other side of the equals, and subtract 14 from the number there. So I have x. -21 minus 14 would be -35. Okay, next one. X minus 6 equals 17. So I'm over here. Now, what operation do I have over there? I have a 6. It's a -6, okay? So I circle the x, but I'm not a fan of minus, okay? Minus, I make it plus negative. So I have to go from a negative. When I'm going from a -6 to 0, I have to go forward. Forward means we would add to get to 0. And then I would add 6 to 17. So that's 0. We have x, 17 plus 6 is 23. Okay, x minus 7 equals -19. So x is on the left side. There's a minus, so I circle the x, but I'm not a fan of a minus. I want to know what that 7 actually is, whether it's negative or positive. That's why we always go plus negative. Now I see that it's a -7. From negatives to 0, I go forward, so that means plus 7. That takes you to 0. Go to the other side, plus 7. So we have x, -19 plus 7. -19 plus 7 is -12. Okay, now to keep it going. X minus 18 equals -28. Okay, here's the equals. X and 18, the relationship is minus, so I circle the x. Okay, minus 18, that is a plus, that's a -18. We're trying to get to 0. So if I'm at negative getting to 0, we're going forward. Okay, so plus 18. Take me to 0. Then I go plus 18 to the -28 on the other side of the wall. It's like a bounce. Whatever I do on this side of the wall, I have to do to the other side. So x, then -28 plus 18. -10. your answer. Okay, negative 4 plus x equals 16. So x is on this side. X and the 4, there's a plus in between them, so I circle the x. And I have to get from negative 4 to 0. Negative 4 to 0 is going this way, so plus 4. And then plus 4 from the 16. So you have x, 16 plus 4 is 20. Okay. Next problem. X minus 3 equals negative 30. So x is on this side with a minus operation. So I circle the x. Now we have to take the 3 to 0. I don't like that minus in front of it, plus negative. So I have to get from negative 3 to 0. That's forward to the right. That means add. Okay. So add 3 and add 3 to negative 30. So we have x. Negative 30 plus 3. Negative 27. Okay, now go to the back side. The boxes again. Here's what we have going on here. Okay. X plus 7 equals 11. So x is on the left side, the left side over here. Circle the x, and you got to get that 7 to a 0 so you can cross it off that side. So from 7 to 0, I go positive 7 to 0, I go backwards. Okay. So minus 7 minus 7. So that's 0. And you have x, 11 minus 7 is 4. Okay, 8 equals x minus 2. So x is on this side of the equals of the bubble. Okay. Minus 2. So again, circle the x and make your minus 2 into a plus negative 2. So I clearly see we need to get from negative 2 to 0 on this side. So from negative 2 to 0, that's forward 2. Forward means plus 2. Now I go to the other side of the wall and plus 2. So 8 plus 2 is 10. We have x, and cross that out. As soon as you know that's at 0, cross it out. Okay, x minus 2 equals negative 6. So x is on this side of the equals. So what's the operation? Minus 2. So x, make it a plus negative 2, and we have to get from negative 2 to 0. So that's going forward 2. Forward means we're adding 2. Okay, negative 2 plus 2, that's 0. Now I go under the negative 6 and plus 2. You can use a calculator on that, or think you're at negative 6, forward 2, I'd be at negative 4. Okay, next one, negative 18 equals x plus 12. So x is on the right side, so that's where I'm looking at. X and 12, there's a plus operator, so I circle the x. I'm good with plus, okay? So it's a positive 12. We're going from positive 12 to 0, so that's backward 12. 0. Now go to the other side and subtract 12. So we have x, negative 18 minus 12. It's not 6. You got to make your 18 a negative. Negative 30. Okay, next one. X plus 10 equals negative 10. So here's the equals bubble. We're on this side of the bubble. So x and 10 have a plus. So I circle the x, and I have to get from positive 10 to 0. Going from positive to 0 is going backwards, so minus 10. Then I minus 10 from the negative 10. That is not going to be 0, okay? Negative 10 minus 10, you'd be at negative 10, but you would not go forward 10. You're going backwards 10, which means negative 20. Okay, negative 1 equals x plus 5. So here's the equals, and x is on the right side. Okay, so between the x and 5 we have a plus. Okay, so I circle the x. I've got to get from positive 5 to 0. Well, going from a positive to 0 is going backwards, so that means subtract 5. There you're at 0, but you go to the other side of the wall and subtract 5. So I've got x, negative 1 minus 5. You can just do that on a calculator and hit equals, or you can start at negative 1 and go, since you're minusing 5, that's backwards 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 6. Okay, negative 13 equals x minus 20. Okay, so here's my equals. X is over here. X and 20, there's a minus sign, so I circle the x. Minus 20 means plus negative 20, so we're going from negative 20 to 0. Negative to 0, you're adding, so I'd have to add 20. Now I'm at 0 on that side with the constants. Now I go to the other side of the wall and add 20. So I have x over here, negative 13 plus 20. I got 7. 7 equals x, or x equals, yep. Okay, here, 2 equals negative 3 plus x. So x is over here. Between the 3 and the x, we have a plus. Okay, so I circle just the x. Now I have to get from negative 3 to 0. Negative 3 to 0 is going forward, which means plus. Okay, so plus 3. Go to the other side on the 2 and plus 3. So x is over here. 2 plus 3 is 5.